What's up guys, it's your boy Crow and here with another one. Alright, today together you and I, we will be learning how to install a virtual machine into a VirtualBox and review Solus OS. Now for those who are wondering what a VirtualBox is, it is an open source software for virtualizing x86 computing architectures. It acts as a hypervisor, creating a VM or virtual machine where the user can run another operating system. Your operating system where the VirtualBox is installed is called the host OS, and the operating system we run in the VirtualBox are called guest OS or virtual machines. Now VirtualBoxes are supported across operating system, namely Windows, Linux, macOS as their host obviously. When configuring a virtual machine, the user can specify how many CPUs, CPU cores, and how much RAM and disk space should be devoted to that specific VM. But for this video, we'll be installing a Linux distro called Solus OS, an independent distro I might add. Now first up is we need to go to VirtualBox's official website, as I always recommend. So just launch your browser. Mine here is Brave browser, and go to virtualbox.org. Make sure it's HTTPS for security. Now you will see this very shiny button here. This is the latest version, VirtualBox 6.1. Now what you want to do is just want to click on this button right here. Now I'm assuming that you are on Linux, so we're going to go to Linux distributions right over here. But if you are on other native operating systems, you can choose either Windows, Mac OS X, or Cyrus host over here. So we're going to go for Linux distributions. Now I'm assuming your distro is based on one of these, as I explained in my previous video, that there are major Linux distros and there are those Linux distros that are based on major Linux distros. For example, Elementary OS, which is based on Ubuntu 18.04, so it is this one right over here. Now since our machine is based on 18.04, we're going and load this one right over here. As you can see here, it gives us a deb package which we need to use to install this VirtualBox. Now this is another way to install it. It's either you're going to use sudo dpkg/i and this specific deb package, or you're just going to need a third-party app called Eddy or GDebi. So if you are on Elementary OS, you can always go to the store and download this app called Eddy. What this does is manages your Debian packages, so you don't have to go into the terminal and so forth, so on. Very simple, just a few clicks, and there you have your Debian package installed into your system. So for those who don't have access to Debi or Eddy or GDebi, you can always go to the terminal. Assuming that the Debian package is in the download folder, we're going to cd into download and check what is there. So when we cd into downloads here, now after that you just have to say list, and your package will be listed right over here in orange, or you just look for the deb package here. And after that you're just going to say sudo dpkg standing for Debian package/i for install, and you're going to just copy and paste your that specific file. So in this case we just go say Control-C, Control-V, and then you just press enter, and this line it will install. Now for those who want it to go straight forward, you can just add a Y at the end and it will just go until it's finished installing. Now once you have your VirtualBox installed there, we're just going to close this window and go to our official review for this video, which is Solus OS. So remember, I always say go to the official website. So here it's let me just do this in full. So this one is getsol.us/home/ to access the website, and you can see here it basically explains what it really is. Now since we are going to install this into a VirtualBox, I will not be downloading an ISO image. I'll be downloading a virtual disk image, and which I will get from osboxes.org, and we go to our virtual images here, and we should search for the Solus OS, which is right over here. And here is where you're just going to download this VirtualBox. Make sure it's you download it for the VirtualBox and not VMware. There are two specific visualizers. So again, there's some information here. So there's a username, the password, and so forth, so on. So I already have this downloaded, so I'm just going to head to the VirtualBox and show you how to install it correctly. Alright, now we are going to head to the VirtualBox and install the Solus OS. So launch your VirtualBox here. Alright, as you can see, there are no VirtualBoxes or OSs installed in this VirtualBox at the moment. So first step is we're going to have to create one by saying new, and we're going to install Solus OS, so we're going to name it Solus. Remember to choose the type, set the type to Linux, and the version, make sure that you choose other Linux 64-bit, since it is an independent Linux distro. So we say next. On this page is where we assign the amount of RAM we want to give the specific OS that we are installing in the VirtualBox. So I am going to give it 2 GB, which is 2084 megabytes or 2 GB. Now we're going to say next, and here on this page, since I already downloaded a virtual disk image from OS boxes, I'm going to say use an existing virtual disk file, and I'm going to locate it with that icon right there. So assuming you have downloaded and you have extracted that OS, just locate it. Now in my case, I have extracted it into OS. I've given a subfolder for it. Here it is, Solus 4.0, and we're just going to open it up. After that, we just have to say create. Now once we create this operating system, it is always important to go to the settings. And now here, as we said previously, we said that in a VirtualBox we specify how many CPU cores, how much RAM and disk space should this VM be devoted with. Under general, you leave it just like this. Under system, you go to processor here and make sure you give it 2 CPUs, just as for that efficiency. And here you leave everything as it is here. Now for display, I usually just crank this up. I would also recommend you crank it up, and you enable 3D acceleration there, and that is pretty much it. And then you just say okay. Now we are going to launch this Linux distro by pressing start. Once you get the window popped up like this, it is always important that you go to view and select full screen mode so that you get the best out of your VirtualBox. Alright, it has finished pushing up. Now since I downloaded this from osboxes.org, they provided me a password which is osboxes.org. Alright, so we have landed on Solus OS. So Solus OS, and I quote, is a personal OS for personal computers. It is powered by the shared vision of a strong community working for a common goal. It is recommended for office and home use, for developers, content creators, gamers, but not limited to other users. For home and office use, Solus ships with the latest version of LibreOffice suite, which comprises of document editor, spreadsheet, and presentation, and so much more. In the software center, these types of users can find other alternatives for their office needs. Again, for developers, Solus supports a wide variety of editors, programming languages, compilers, version control systems, as well as containerization and visualization such as Docker and Vagrant. For content creators, Solus Software Center ships with all the well-known and trusted softwares for animation, video, and music production. In addition, Solus provides software to help express these types of users' creativity. And for gamers here, Many fantastic open source games are available natively for Solus, along with support for many gamepads and controllers. With minutes, you can play all your Steam titles for Linux with modern and optimized gaming runtime and no setup hassles. Now, Solus OS focuses on performance, stability, and is available in different desktop environments, namely Plasma, Mate, GNOME, Budgie. It is worth noting that Solus uses EOP PKG as its package manager, which automatically means if you're coming from Debian like myself, then you have to get used to sudo eopkg install and your package and grab a coffee because it takes time. Right, with that being said, we are going to take a tour on Solus OS and find out what it's really capable of. I remember the last time I was using it when I launched up the terminal here. I was not really productive because I just could not adapt to its to this new environment. So, and then I did try saying neo fetch just to see the specs, and yet it gave me an error saying it cannot be found, which automatically said that, oh, maybe I have to say sudo eopkg install neofetch, so something like that, and it should prompt you with the password just to authorize that it is you. Some security issues there, and here it is now. I'm searching for the packages and installing all the dependencies. Now I'm wondering, it is quite very different for me on Debian based distributions. I'll just type sudo apt install neofetch, and it should just be a very very fast process. Now when I come to Solus OS, it is somehow a very difficult task to do. I don't really see the efficiency in this. For someone like me, I love using the terminal. I spend most of my time in the terminal, so this is a downer for me, but otherwise you guys might have different opinions. Nonetheless, it tells us here that this package or packages is 70.52 megabytes. So obviously here it's just requiring us the extra dependencies due to they say obviously saying there are extra packages due to dependencies. Do you want to continue? So yes, obviously we want to continue, and as you can see, it requires so many packages. These are dependencies here, so it's 101 that it has to download. So that's why I did say that when you say sudo eopkg install specific package, you just have to go away and grab a coffee because it's going to take forever. So let's just wait this up. Alright, and now we are back since it's about to finish, and this whole process is basically just taking forever, and as I did say, it does take forever. And now it is going to the installation process. I think I'm going to have to pause the video again so we can just skip to the end. Alright, it has finished and looks like there are many errors here, so I'm going to assume that it was not a successful installation. So for those who want to install a simple task such as neofetch, you're going to have to run into something like this, so just prepare yourself. So if I still write neofetch here, it should not give us anything, or even if I do require root access, neofetch, sorry, spelled that wrong. So sudo, okay, let's just press cancel, and let us just prove to you that it's a real hassle here in Solus OS for someone who's coming from another Linux distro. So osboxes.org, and still nothing. So it's a real hassle to actually install anything on this Solus OS. Now I might be wrong, maybe just because I'm running this in a virtual machine, but I got the same error last time I used it. But regardless, let us move on. Now it does say that for Office users it does ship with LibreOffice. So if we go here, as we can see, we have our advanced if we go to Office here, you can see we have our advanced text editor, which is LibreOffice here. But then obviously, as I said, you can always go to the package manager and search for an alternative to this Office use. So if I were to go to, so this is home, it says Office software. They are here, Office software, and it is just searching for these. And you can find your specific softwares that you require here. So, and then again, it is also worth noting that out of the box, it does not ship with the full version of LibreOffice. So if I open this, I don't even think that it is the latest one. Alright, now we have this LibreOffice opened over here, so let's just make it smaller. And you can see here it does not ship with all of our LibreOffice applications, so it's missing database and math formula. So otherwise, it's just giving you these simple ones. But anyways, you can go ahead and install the full version. That's if you want in the software manager. Now let us move on to the developer section. Now it does tell us that for developers it supports a variety of editors. So if we go to back here again in the package manager, I'm going to search for a text editor that I use. So we're going to go into programming languages, and we are going to, let's say, let's go to programming here. And as we can see, for those who know will know, so I'm not going to go dive deep in this. So it does come with these packages, but I'm not really a fan of how they have these icons. It's just everywhere. I don't know whether they are busy working on the icons or so, but those who know will know. So yeah, development files here. Yeah, so let's just go back again. Oh yeah, it also said about modules, and yeah, so this is it. So if you are a developer, you know exactly what's going on here. So again, here's our IDE. So it does, there is Bluefish there. It's a text editor with many, yeah, whatever. So let's go on. I'm still okay. So yeah, so out of the box, in the package manager, we have this Bluefish IDE. We have code block IDE for C and C++, and so forth on. So that is something that you developers can look into. I'm also a developer, but I'm not really planning to switch to Solus OS just for that. I'm perfectly fine with Elementary OS. Now let's move on to content creators. It also tells us here that within the software center, it ships with all well-known and trusted software for animation and video and music production. So let's just go to multimedia here, and we're going to, so let's go to graphics first of all. I don't know whether it does have gedit in here, but I think it should. So yeah, for those who are planning to install this, it's pretty much, it's okay. I must say it's okay. So we have Cheese there, one of my favorite webcam applications. We have Kidden Live, as you can see, out of the box, that is. We have simple screen recorder. We don't have simple screen recorder in the App Center for Elementary OS. I had to install it from using a PBA from a different repository. Yeah, so again, we have audio softwares. I don't know if Audacity is in here. So no, I don't think Audacity is in here. So no, it does not come with Audacity within its repositories. So we're just going to move on, and now we go for gamers, and here we can see gaming on Solus. There's arcade games here. Wow, these there are a bit more games than I expected, but yeah, these are all the games you can get here. And to be honest, I am running this in a VirtualBox, and it is actually really working really well. So we have Warzone here. Wow, this is really interesting. So for gamers, I think I should make a video about this. So for gamers, you can see that you guys actually have more out of the box with this, even though you will require internet access to install this specific games and so forth. I just wanted it to load the screenshot, but then it's taking forever, so we'll move on. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So we have role-playing games here, and we have all these different categories of games, and that's pretty much, but otherwise this is pretty much it. I really love the way it is, just the way it's laid out, the budgie desktop environment here. You can see for all, we have, these are all the softwares that will come. So for those who have proprietary drivers, you can always use a driver manager called doFlicky, and you can install your drivers from here, which is a very good thing for gamers and those who have graphics cards such as NVIDIA and so forth, so on. So that is one thing to point out as well. Well, let's see what else is in here. So alright, I also wanted to go check out system monitor, so just to show you how much resources it's requiring out of the box. So as if we go here, we use this GNOME system monitor and just max it out. I'm gonna go to resources. As you can see here, it is using 647.8 megabytes. So that is really good. That is really impressive. That is really impressive. I must give a hand up for those. So yeah, this is that's really impressive, guys. Yeah, so I'm not going to dive deeper into more things on Solus OS. Otherwise, you guys can go install it on yourself and yeah, try it out. But otherwise, it is really interesting. I love the way it is. So again, you can see here we have our notifications here, which is very classic. I love the way this thing is laid out. It's very interesting. So we have our devices here, we have our apps if we're playing any music, our mic, and which is very interesting, our calendar on top. I'm pretty sure the notifications are listed down here. So as you can see, we have softwares over here, software updates, I mean, which I think you can clear with that. So yeah, that's really interesting. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. I'm going to switch this off and close off and wrap up the video. So that's it for Solus OS. Next we'll be looking at something else. Alright, so what is my conclusion? What is my advice to you? So my advice is, for those who are running very low spec computers or laptops, I would recommend that you actually use Solus OS. As we can see, I'm running this in a VirtualBox. I signed it with 2 GB RAM. I signed it with 2 CPUs, and it was running flawlessly. So for those who have low spec computers, I would recommend that you use Solus OS because it will not be resource hungry. It's a very interesting distro, and it does have a very huge community that you can use to get any support and so forth, so on. So guys, that wraps up for our video for today. I will be uploading again tomorrow, and yeah, until we see each other again. So guys, please do like, subscribe, and share. Okay, the share part you don't have to, but just like and subscribe. I really appreciate that, and comment as well on the next video that you want me to do, because it's a community. So you can tell me that, you know, Chrome, please do a review on this specific distro, and I don't mind downloading the ISO and installing it into the VirtualBox, so showing you how it would run if you were to install it in your hardware rather than doing it yourself. So I'm willing to make the mistakes so that you don't have to make them, something like that. So guys, it's been your boy Crobe, and I love having you guys watch my videos. Please do as I said previously, and peace out.